virtually. All right, I got the
reminder. The recording, Will.
Yep, I got the reminder that it's being recorded. So just a reminder, it is being recorded and we're all on video here. And the only absent so far is Josh, but we'll keep note for when he does join us and we'll add that to the minutes, whatever time he arrives. Welcome. I apologize that I have to be virtual, but as you can see, I am in my office and I was here last night until about 11:30. I'll probably be here till tonight till 11:30 and midnight and whatever else, gosh forsaken times I have to be here. So I apologize. Are there any additions or changes to the agenda that was sent out?
So I just wanted to note one thing. I added 4 confidential voter request reviews under new business. So the agenda that everybody has that. However, it was posted 3 days ago on the website and everywhere else. But so I just wanted to also do it officially right now, add the confidential voters under new business, if that's okay, Mr. President.
Yep. And that was listed there. Anybody else have anything else? All right, then let's go in for the approval of our minutes from the February 25th meeting and our closed session. Rui, I apologize, it's late. Just the one spelling on the donation that I did make. His last name is Urbach, which is Urbach for the campaign contribution.
Spell that for me one more time, please.
Urbach. Yep.
Oh, Urbach. Okay.
Urbach. Yep. JD Urbach.
All right. So if it's okay with the board, I'll make that typo change and just reprint the page.
And that was the only thing I personally saw. Did anybody else have anything else? If not, I'll entertain. I know a couple spellings that Rui did correct, but if not, will someone make a motion to accept those meeting minutes and the closed session?
So moved. A second.
All right, I have a motion. Is there a second?
A second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor could say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. That's unanimous. And
Can I ask a question? Can you defer or designate your the vice president to sign for you? That way I can get them posted online and everywhere today, rather than wait until.
Absolutely, I'm fine with that. Absolutely. Let's go into our director's report.
Okay, so it seems like we just had a meeting not too long ago, and Amanda reminded me that it's only been about 3 weeks because we met. This week we're meeting a week early because I'm going to be out of the office next week. So first of all, thank you for adjusting your schedules. I know we adjusted it a long time ago, but I still want you to know that I do appreciate the time off that I'm going to have next week. So I'll go ahead and speak to that really fast. I have, my plan was to talk about it at the end, but Amanda will be here along with 4 supervisors and 1 other manager. Actually 5 supervisors, because Cody recently was promoted. So Dana's here, she's the office manager. So although I won't be physically in the building, they are always allowed or able to reach me by cell phone. Tisha knows how to get me all the time as well. I've spoken with Derek and Will this week, and both of them have offered to check in. Amanda knows, if Dana knows, everybody knows they can reach out to either one of them should they need anything. Al is close and stops in all the time. he said that he would be happy to come in if something comes up and they need assistance. So I believe that, although I won't be here, that we're well covered, and our team will definitely step up and make sure everything goes smoothly next week. On to my director's report, the voter outreach and education recruitment event schedule is included in your packets. It includes, as you know, events that we've attended since the last meeting and events that are scheduled. Some of the there were some big events that I wanted to just mention. We did this outreach events with the youth in Baltimore County, and I think Mary Frances told me we received the largest number of both voter registration applications and election judge applications. I was really excited to be invited, and now we're partnering with that Baltimore County agency to be part of all of their upcoming outreaches, which is very exciting. And the turnout there was great. And then the interest and all of the young people wanting to serve and be election judges, whether it was for the money or because they have a passion, it doesn't matter to us, because normally when they start young, they stay. And then that always helps us with retention with the election judges. I also wanted to note that as we get closer to the election, the number of voter registration distributor trainings that were requested are increasing as our resources decrease, because we have more work to do. But so far, we've been able to accommodate every single request and attend. Some requests have been to have it here, and we figured out a way to have it here even when we have judge training. So we're really trying to make sure that our voter outreach and education recruitment, and as well as the VRD training, is as broad as possible, and we're available as much as possible. Excuse me. We also in your packets is well, in the director's report are all of the meetings and events and things or important dates that have happened since the last board meeting. Some of them I'm going to talk about through the director's report, but there's a couple that I'll just mention to you right now rather than later. Baltimore County, as you know, has been part of a program. That's Josh. He said he'll be here in 5 minutes, Mr. President. Baltimore County has been part of a program called the Alliance for Election Excellence for over a year now. We've fully participated to meet all of the 6 standards to be certified, and we're ready to submit to be recognized and receive that certification. So that's super exciting. And I will, in the first part of April, I plan to make the end of March, by the first part of April, make the submission, and we will probably be one of the first jurisdictions in the whole country if we do meet the mark, which I have a good faith and confidence we will meet that mark. So that's exciting. So I'll move on to the regular part of our report, and then during that report, I'll also mention some other important dates or important things that happen. Of course, we had the annual fire alarm audit. I've told you about that last meeting, and everything checked out fine. We're doing good there. Excuse me. The routine floor cleaning was supposed to be scheduled for last Saturday, but due to the inclement weather the last couple of weeks, I postponed it so that we don't continue to track salt in after the floors get cleaned. So I rescheduled that for March 21st, which is this Saturday, this Saturday. Okay. And then I also talked about at the last meeting how the state employees would now have county badges rather than state badges, because then we're tracked in the county security system, just like county employees are, and that's like every other agency. I don't know why in the past, the election agency was done a little bit different, but, I, you know, like I told you, I met with OIT and they agreed with me that we should be the same process in the same system and all of that. So we, Amanda and, her team have done everything that was needed to provide headshots of all of the state employees, and we all now have a county badge that looks like yours. But it says state employee on the side. And then any of our temporary employees will have the same badge, but instead of it saying state employee, it'll say temporary employee. So everybody's badge will look the same. Everybody's headshot and picture and information will be in the security system. I've completed the 2026 disaster recovery and emergency operations document, but Amanda and I talked about it and we decided prior to distributing to the board and also to our county agency partners, I want to wait until April to make sure we have the most up-to-date and recent point of contact, because people get promoted, like Colonel Kelly's now a colonel. When we first started out, he was a major, so they get promoted. Major Hearn is no longer our person, it's now Major Hartman. So in order to have the most up-to-date document or information for the early voting and election day, I want to wait till April. So in the April meeting, I'll distribute that to the board. Sorry, that was Josh again. I'll distribute that to the board. But it is complete. Amanda and I usually do it the first month or so of every year, whether it's a election year or not. And this year, it took a little longer to do because we had to include the new polling places, the changes in the ballot box locations and things like that. So it just took another week or two longer to have that completed. I did already submit it to the state board prior to that deadline. I think the deadline to get it to the state board is this Friday. The first cycle of the routine voting equipment battery charging has been completed. We've been doing the 2026 equipment inventory that's due by June 30th every year. Amanda started doing that with her team, along with the first quarter battery charging. So we get it done way before the election, and they're almost finished that, and they will be finished the entire inventory process by the end of March, which would be, again, be way in advance of the required deadline. And then we've determined the equipment allocations for the primary elections, which will be also sent to the state board for their information. The pre-election maintenance on the 850s, which are the high-speed scanners, is going to happen this week. Excuse me. The 2026 legislation session is still in full swing. It ends on April 13th. Once it ends, I'll send the board a complete list of any new laws new election laws, and then with an explanation of how it affects our operations and my plan to implement or execute. So I will probably have that by the May meeting. If not before, I'll send it to you by email if it's prior to that meeting. We completed the first pilot test. Risk limiting audit was completed, and we established our internal process for that audit. If you remember, that's the new audit that's required by law, and it kind of replaces the manual audit, but it's very similar to the manual audit, but there are definite differences. So now that we understand exactly the process and what's required, because there's many different types of risk limiting audits. So we had to review the regs and the law and then go through it with the state board, because all of 24 jurisdictions need to be doing the same thing. Amanda and I believe Cody and Gordon all attended the Arlo training, which is the software that's going to randomly select the ballots and the contest that we complete the risk limiting audit on. So we finished that training, and then that software was used for the test of the audit. So it was kind of like a real audit, because we used the ballots from the 24 primary. And then it was randomly selected through Arlo. We went through the whole process of receiving the information, then pulling the ballots, and then doing the audit, and there was no variance. So that's like the, 11th audit we've done on the 24 election, no variance. So the results were good for several reasons. One, we know what to expect with the risk limiting audit. Obviously, we won't know the number of ballots until we see how many people vote, right? And we get a sample from every type of election ballots we have. So mail-in ballot, provisional, early voting, election day, just like we did for the manual audit. We don't know what scanner is going to be selected or what contest till right before it's time to pull the ballot. So it's very like structured so that you can't really fudge. It's not like way in advance and you can pull. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of like that part, because there is no room for error. We are going to offer it by live stream, and it's open for public viewing. The board is not required to be here. I've asked Josh to please make sure he's here on the first time that we do this audit, and I have the date scheduled for after. We do it after we certify. So I still do my comprehensive audits and all of those things prior to certification. I still present all of that to the board. We certify, and then the law requires the RLA audit prior to the statewide certification of the statewide results. So anyway, the board's absolutely welcome to come. I think, Al, did you come help with or Laverne, one of you guys came and help with the manual audit once. So it's interesting. And so if you want to come, you're definitely welcome. All staff, everybody on our team is being trained to process both the mail-in ballot applications and receiving and accepting ballots. And the reason that we're training everybody is, again, we don't know the volume that we're going to receive. So it's better that everybody know how to do it if we need to, expand what we're doing or add to what we're doing. So we're completing that training in April, and then Dana will train the provisional in May, so that everybody's ready to help with provisional. As you know, in 25, I think we had the highest number of provisionals in the whole state. We had 25,000. So everybody needs to jump in and get those done, because we have a deadline to do the audit. Canvas. The voter services department is still staying current. We've completed all of the monthly and quarterly reports. Like always, the manual review of voter records is continuing. When you look at the numbers, I know they're a little lower than what you're used to seeing, but just keep in mind it's only been three weeks or so since the last report. So they are going to be a little bit less, but our team is doing very well. We are still not finding errors other than like a missing phone number, which truly isn't an error because it used to not be required. Now it is, but we're still doing it even if the record, we're still adding that number. Excuse me. The monthly statistics report was provided in your folders. And when I was reviewing all this, something was very interesting to me. So if you look at the number of Olivers, which are online voter registrations, those are the ones when people go to the link and either register to vote or update their voter registration, maybe change their address, move into Baltimore County, new registrations, all of those, change your party, that's what an online voter, an Oliver is, right? We had almost one short of 13,000 between the last board meeting and this board meeting. That's a lot of changes if you think about it. And then we had over 1,000 paper applications that we processed in that short time. That means we mailed out 14,000 voter notification cards. Those numbers it just like kind of surprised, like, wow, that's a lot. So I believe that people are, one, receiving our message, because we have very strong voter outreach message. Make sure your voter record is up to date. You know, this is a local midterm. You want to make sure you're voting for the candidates that represent the address you live in. Please make sure that your voter records are up to date. And then I know that there's a lot of registration events going on, and the proof is in the amount of work that we're processing just in that short period of time. And I tried to compare it to the monthly statistics report, but you really can't, because this report is meeting to meeting, and this report is month to month. So I'm gonna talk to the team and find out, would it make more sense for us also to have the monthly statistics the month rather than meeting to meeting. But we got to figure out how to make that work with the next one, because our meetings are never on the first and last day of the month. Does that make sense? All right. And anyway, we can still get the numbers from the last day of the month, similar to the way we run the statistical report. So I'll let you know, unless somebody has an objection to changing it to a monthly report, let me know, and I will we'll figure out a way, and we'll switch to that starting in April. So that it'll be easier to look at our numbers compared to like how many people have maybe gone from Dem to Rep or Rep to Dem, and things like that with this report, because I know a lot of people have questions with that. The other thing I wanted to share with you all, and I didn't include this in your folders, but I'm giving it to you now. It's on our website. It's also on the state board website. It's the voter registration list maintenance, which is what we do to maintain our voter rolls. So I made everybody a copy. The board has gotten this. You got this last year. I gave it out, but I thought it probably won't hurt to give it out again, because I know I'm getting a lot of questions with like, we told you 4 times this person moved, but you're still mailing them. Well, there's a reason we can't, so I thought this would be a good document. And it is available on the website, so it is public information. So I thought that would be a good document to share with you all today, to help maybe if you get questions or anything. As far as under new business, I'm just mentioning we have 4 confidential voter requests that the board will need to review. For the 2026 primary election, we're still preparing, Damon's order all the supplies. They're starting to come in. I sent the board the Canvas template that President Pure asked me to send, and everybody's given me their dates. So I'll make the updates and resend that out to everybody. But we have quorum for every day that we need quorum. But just know all 5 members, and Josh is welcome every day. But the days that we do board review, the board's always preferred for everybody to be there. So that's why I put those days. And then any of the days that are the first day, like first day of MIB or first day of provisional or day we certified, you all always preferred for everybody to be there. So those days I listed everybody, and then the 3 columns were the quorum days. But with everybody that's gives me their schedule, we have quorum or more for the entire time. So thank you guys so much for that. We've sent out, we've completed drafting the voter guide, which is previously referred to as the sample ballot or practice ballot. Now it's called a voter guide, which kind of makes sense to me. So I'm finished the shell, and the shell is the part of the document that everybody gets that has early voting times, election day times, all that kind of general information all voters need to know. And then the insert part is the actual ballot style for that voter. So we're finished the shell. I've already sent it to the printer, so the production part on the shells can start, so that when I do send the list to them, they can right away get them printed and start mailing them out. If you remember, the printer had a delay last time, and I don't want to delay this time. So I've given them the voter guide shell part 2 months in advance, so that everybody's ready for when we send the first batch, and then after the close of registration, we send the second batch of the, voter addresses. The new language law, Baltimore County, we talked about this previously. We fit under the new law. We're one of the 5 counties that meets the criteria to be required to provide our any voter information on our website in English and in Spanish. We've already been doing that for years. We've also been providing paper documents, the voter registration application and things like that in Spanish. We've been doing that for since our county administration wanted me to start in 22, started in 22, increased it in 24. Well, now we have the requirement for our website. Our website already meets the standards because it has the translating program already on it. However, any document that's only there for 30 days is a PDF, and you can't necessarily always use that translate button. So what we've done is we've come up with a practice guide that's in Spanish. And then I requested and received from the state board all of those documents in a PDF. So there'll be a link to the English version and the Spanish version. So we're covered in that area on our website, and we're in full compliance, and actually more than what the law requires. I gave everybody the pamphlet that from state board that talks about the language information guide and the 800 number that the voters can use at polling day. I've coordinated with our the 3 election planning meetings that we have with all our agency partners and stakeholders, for example, property management, fire, police. Will and Derek have already told me that they would man the command center. If you remember, the command center is in Towson. The operations center is here, and Amanda and I man the operations center here in the war room. And you guys are going to take shifts, and I know you haven't decided who's on what shift, but we can talk about that later. I sent you 2 a link to that planning meeting. If you don't want to join or you can't join, that's not a problem, because I'll provide the board with an entire overview of what happens at the meeting. And then when you get the disaster recovery document, all that stuff is also included in there. But I wanted to include you all just in case.
Rui, did you send that already? Did I miss it?
I emailed it the day before yesterday. I can resend the link. Did you get the link?
I'll double check. Maybe I might have missed over it.
Sure. Were you sitting there when I did it?
I was sitting there when you did it.
Did I send it to another Derek that only spells your name with 1 R?
Maybe so.
All right, I will, I don't know the 3 dates off the top of my head. One's in April, one's in May, and one's in June before early voting starts.
I want to say it was April 19th.
Yeah, and then
Sound
like
familiar?
May 6th, and then, no,
May.
May something, and then, well, anyway, I'll resend. Can you make a note of that for me, please? Thank you. I'll resend the link for those meetings. And then you and, Will, or you and Derek can decide who's gonna go first or second. Whoever goes first, I'll give the radio to, and then you can just switch off on the radio. Right? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and the radios are being, so Derek said, he didn't say it very loud, but he did that. He did say he received the 3 invites. So maybe you did and you don't see them either.
I do see it now.
The 7th was the first one.
Yeah, April 7, May 6, and June 8. I'm looking at it right now.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Don't worry. I was thinking, but I was thinking maybe because I sent Josh an email to Josh that does our TriTech machine, because I'm coordinating that too. There's too many Mikes, Christopher's, Josh, but there's not a lot of Wills and Derek. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how I want to make that mess up. Anyway, where was I? I was talking about, what was I talking about?
Radios.
One more time. Oh, the radios. So our radios, it was time for them to get an upgrade and, the regular maintenance. So Gordon took them over to, electronic services and, we're gonna get back at least 10, because, election judge training started. But usually John from electronic services, when I asked for 10, he says, just take them all, kind of with the van. I needed one, they gave me all three. We'll have those back, very soon, and they'll be, with the new, I don't know, the new update and security on them. As far as election judge training, that's going very well. The process to contact, hire, assign to a training class has begun. For all the judges that served in 2024, the new law requires us to provide a vacancy report. Now, the vacancy report that the state board, told us all to, give you all is 54 pages long. We are gonna take this report and make it a easy to read spreadsheet that, and so it'll probably end up being 3 pages long, starting in April. When I saw this, I'm like, okay, this is not gonna work. It looks like a bunch of zeros also, but remember, we just started hiring, I don't know, 8 days ago. So, anyway, every month, I've always told you all how many I need, how many we have, where we have a, where we're low, whether we need Republicans or Democrats. We always talk about that, but the providing the report now is, now required by law. And I actually received a letter from the, Maryland, Republican Central Committee Chair, and I put a copy of the letter in your board, packet, and they also addressed it to Will, I think, too. But anyway, or they addressed the email to Will and I, they addressed the letter to, State Administrator Demeritus. But the chair of our central committee told me, I don't know how many times, that there's no issue in our county. I'm just gonna let you all know. I work very closely with both central committees. It used to be Jason, now it's Dr. Wood. I work very closely with the central committees. I let them know where we have vacancies and things like that. And we've always had the information in our director's report. It just was not listed by polling place. Now I am required to list it by polling place, but rather than giving you a 54-page report that's hard to read and understand, I'm going to put it on an Excel spreadsheet that looks similar to this report that you get. And then that way it'll make more sense for you guys. Okay. Anybody have an objection to that or want this report instead? But we're doing very well, hiring and putting people, in classes, and that, I can tell that by the number of, election judges that are assigned to the training classes, because they're hiring them, they're assigning in the MD voters, and then they're also, registering them for class. And so we can see when the class is 25, 30, 20, 26 people or whatever, back to back, all the classes, we know that they're really doing well hiring and assigning judges. The first class was actually held yesterday. 3 people from the state board came and, observed the training. Unfortunately, and we were a little bit, surprised by this, not as many returning judges are buying into the 2-hour class. They, some are, but we thought it was going to be about half and half, and it's about 1/3. But again, we just started, so that might change. So we had to change a couple of the 2-hour classes in March and make them 3-hour classes, because I think, one, they all like to come see us, and I'm not saying we're wonderful people, but it is the truth. And they've heard, well, that's what they keep hearing. They said, no, we'll come to the 3 hours so we get to see whoever in the first. Because the first part is where we always do the talking, me, Dana, Kim, Casey, Blair, somebody, and that's what they're hearing. So who knows, that might change as they, keep calling the returning judges, but that's the, feedback that we're getting so far. Remember that we will have those 2 classes on the other side, or 2 weeks of classes on the other side. And if the board wants to attend any training class, let me know, because I wasn't sure who's gonna attend or who's not. I gave everybody a judge manual now. So you have the new judge, have the judgment over this year. I forgot to mention this. I did meet with the new Northminster Church, which is now called United Church. If you remember, we have early voting at Reisterstown Senior Center. So years ago in 2014, when we had to go from 5 to 8 early voting sites, when I contacted aging, they were very concerned because the seniors get meals and things. So what I did was I found the church, which was half a mile down the road, who has a hall, commercial kitchen, and can host their activities. So we made arrangements way back then with Northminster Church to relocate them to the seniors to Northminster Church. We've done that every election since, except for the last election. And the reason we couldn't in 24, if you remember, was because Northminster Church sold. So it was empty last year. United Church bought Northminster. As soon as I heard that, we got in touch with the new owners and we made arrangements to again use the hall. Because last year we had to relocate the seniors all the way to the Owens Mill Fire Department, which is further away for the seniors to drive. And the hall wasn't as nice and all that. They had a commercial kitchen and everything. So to make a long story short, we're back to using the same building, different name, but we've already met with the aging, and I've coordinated and put those two, the aging and the church, together. And the contract is signed and the seniors are good to go. Yay, for another election cycle. Excuse me. So now I'm all the way down to personnel. Although we filled our 3 temporary election judge HR positions that we get for the election year, 2 of them accepted a county position. And one of them, well, 2 of them accepted a county position. And the reason I had 2 county positions is because Latasha, our county person, accepted a state position. So now, Latasha accepted the state, and then the 2 temporaries, they wanted to go Brett full-time county. They accepted those positions. We did the recruitment on that. That was in the meeting information from last week. So now I have to re-recruit for 2 out of the 3 temporary positions. That recruitment has been posted for what, 2 weeks now? And I asked yesterday for the list. When I get the list, we'll come up with a panel, and Dana's gonna run that, oversee that interview panel. And we'll have those interviews next week. When I return to the office the following week, Dana and the panel will let me know who they want to hire, and we'll try to get those positions filled as soon as possible. In your package, you guys should have the new election pins. Does anybody have it? Did you see them? Oh, here they are. We're gonna give them to you. Sorry. So these are the new election pins. You want to catch them? I was teasing. Did Josh, one was for Josh. And then we also have the new magnets.
You want to throw one over here to me, really?
We mailed you all your stuff.
Oh, no, don't worry about mailing stuff. I hate you doing that. I don't want you to waste money on me. I could always meet you one day.
Okay, all right, perfect. But anyway, they're really cool. I love the design this time with the Baltimore County in the middle, with the Maryland colors and stuff. And if you notice, we added election hero. These are the pins that go to our team and then go to the election judges. And I thought everybody that helps us conduct elections and be successful definitely deserves a pin that says election hero. And then those are the new magnets too. We redesigned them, which I like this design better. Anyway, if you want a couple extra of these or whatever, we do have them. We try to save them for our outreaches and stuff. But do you have Josh's?
Yeah.
Okay. And with that, I'll take any questions. I'm finished. Was it too long, Laverne?
No, I just was gonna say, I attended the, election, judge training. I thought it was excellent.
Oh, awesome, that's
I
right.
did, I
Yep.
did attend that.
Yep.
Here. I
Yeah,
forgot, I think it was last year or whatever.
yeah. Well, and that's a new manual. There are a few changes, like the
Okay.
language line. I don't know, there's a few changes, and they're incorporated in the new book.
I watched the video, which I thought was very well done.
Oh, good, let's make sure I tell Casey that. Thank you for that feedback. I know you went through the whole process. Was it a hard process?
No.
I mean, we don't think so, but we're setting it up.
Yeah.
So that's why I love to hear, if, if it is cumbersome or,
So it was, very intuitive and, good information.
okay, awesome, awesome, great. Thank you for that feedback.
All right, does anybody have any further questions or comments? All right. If not, I kind of see board counsel over there. I see his feet. I don't see his face, but I do see his feet and I heard his voice. Anything to,
I'm gonna have to go
anything
direct
to update us on, sir?
Right now, board council report is all positive. We are not involved in any litigation. We, of course,
We're not named in the one that is going on. We're not named.
right. The Secure American Voting Eligibility Act is being debated in the United States Senate right now. It is not forecasted to pass the Senate because of just basic numbers, but if for some reason it did and became law, that would create the opportunity for litigation, which we would be leading. We would not be leading, but obviously we would be joined in by the state board. So that's one big thing that could be coming up on the horizon. It doesn't look like it. So as far as legal goes, things are pretty clean. Right.
Which that's always a good thing, I guess.
Well, we thought we were gonna have that whole redistricting battle and then nobody
Right.
stepped up, and then it appears that this is not gonna get out of the Senate, so, it's another pitfall that we probably will avoid as far as a bunch of new obligations put on us.
And you said the save is still in the Senate,
It's in there debating it as we speak.
and did it pass the House?
It passed the
or-
House
That's what I thought. I just,
last year, I think. It was,
yeah, okay.
it was not even close to pass the House, but they need 60 in the Senate, and they don't have 60 right now. So they're doing speech and debate right now, where everybody's saying their piece, but it does not appear that it would get out of, it does not appear that it'll pass the Senate. But all subject to the machinations of politics, see what goodness. But right now, it doesn't appear that that's going to be, that would create a significant obligation upon this office.
Well, but I want to clarify that, not all the way, because if it does pass, Maryland is top down. So we still have to follow Maryland law and regulation, and I know, yes, federal law supersedes. However, we are in a statewide voter registration system.
Mhm.
So it's not like we can just come up with our own way to move forward. So we would still have to, the state board would still have to implement whatever is needed in that statewide system for us to be able to properly do what they're asking. Yes, we can come up with processes and procedures at our polling places or here, but as far as the statewide system and identifying those voters, we depend on that system.
Right.
So.
Rui,
it's
just-
not like we
just
can
at a-
make a change just in our section.
No, I say more to be, it would, obviously, we wouldn't be in the lead on anything that had to do with that. We would be along for the ride with the state people, but it would be a great headache to have all that change in an election year, all those requirements. So, but it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. So I think we can dodge that bullet.
For now,
For now,
yeah.
it's always for now.
Rui, is that the nationwide, is that the standard that probably every jurisdiction relies on the state board of each individual state, or is that, how does that work nationwide?
So, no, it is not the standard, and I don't even know that it's the rule. There's some states, North Carolina, Georgia, every jurisdiction runs their own election, has different equipment, different processes and all of that. Maryland used to be a, state where every jurisdiction had different voting equipment. And I think that changed in 2000 and no, I'm not gonna even say the date, because Mike would be here and I don't want him to quote me on that. But some election administrators are elected, some are appointed by the governor, some are appointed by the county executor or the state administrator. We aren't, we're state employees, so it doesn't depend on the governor what party affiliation the directors are across the state, or it doesn't depend on the county executive. So no, every state is different. And I've learned that by, being in the different like partnerships for large jurisdictions and part of the EAC executive committee. It's very interesting that Maryland is now some states, yes, they have the Secretary of State runs elections. We actually have a state board of elections that oversees the 24 jurisdictions. So they're all different, Will, which is, I think, one of the discussions everybody's trying to figure out. How do you make everybody the same when nobody is the same right now? Pretty much nobody's the same. You might have somebody, Utah, I think has, no, Utah's elected. Colorado is somebody that I think they're top down. However, some of them are elected, some of them aren't elected, and they're also mostly by mail, and we're not mostly by mail. So even though they might be similar, they're different. And I think that's the obstacle or hurdle with doing something so uniform nationwide, is that it's been done so different, and all the states have different laws and processes.
Two questions for you. One, that brought up a good point and it triggered a memory. Send us a that you joined that told us all about other states and things. And I used to read that. I forgot what was it. Election. I
Election
can't remember
line.
what it was. Yes.
Election line. You want me to start sending that again?
Yeah. Do you still get that? Because I used to.
Yes.
I was always behind because I'm always behind on my reading in general. But yeah, I do like to read that because
too, so you get everything straight without being
Yeah.
the middleman. Yeah.
Yeah, because
I'll
I
send
had some
you
good stuff, and even though I'm not in the day-to-day industry like you are, and it did have some comparisons with what we're going on in other states, in other jurisdictions. So hypothetically, let's say, and this might be a Josh/Rui question. Let's say hypothetically, whatever is in Congress passes, and it gets let's say it becomes law and it has to be implemented, and the state board, who we know, Jared does push back on a lot of things because we rely on the state system. I'm sure that the state's going to sue and do whatever they would do if something were, but there's no workarounds because we rely completely on the state system.
Yeah, it's to the best of my knowledge, yes.
Like, how can we?
A lot of work for state. I mean, it would be catastrophic for them this year to try to get that all together for this election.
Yeah, because they'd have to change the system. We're getting a new statewide voter registration system, and I'm sure that this system is from before 2006, right? Yeah. So we got the poll books in 2006. The state MD voters is older than that. So when the new voter registration system is supposed to be coming in 2030 or 2028, I don't remember. But anyway, so I'm sure that new system has capabilities for something like this, because there's lots of states, I think Virginia is one of them, that requires ID to vote. So there are states that already have those rules or whatever. So I know that there's systems that have it, but our current system doesn't. And I don't know the back end enough to be able to know, is it easy? Is it an upgrade? Is it, is it more than that? So, but even if I did, it doesn't matter because like Josh said, we use the state board system. So it is the state board, and what they do, just like when they passed the law in 2014 2014 that said we had to go to a paper-based voting system. No, they passed it in 2012 or 13. And then we didn't go to the paper-based voting system until 2016.
Right.
Even though the law had been passed a couple of years before that, because we couldn't switch from the touchscreens until the state switched statewide. So we do depend on them. So it would be the same thing that, you know, we would have to depend on the state.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to hear it out loud.
Yeah, and I mean, if I learn different from the state or whoever, because this topic and the questions have been asked in directors' meetings and other venues and events, I'll certainly share it with you all, that I've learned something different, but, yeah, I mean, that's about what we know is pretty much what everybody knows.
And even if it passes the Senate, it can still go back to the House now for addendums, additions, riders, all that other stuff. So it's not like it passes the Senate and
It's a
then we'll go
done
directly
deal.
to the White House. It still has to go back to the House too. So, I don't think it's gonna affect us this election.
Yeah,
The bottom line, yeah, at the state, national, or any level, I just don't think it's gonna pass. I think they're running out of time.
when does their session end? Like, I know our legislative session ends in April. I don't know when theirs is either.
Not off the top of my head.
No, me neither. Off the top of my head. I don't know. We'll see. Interesting stuff.
So, comments or
Also,
questions?
I apologize for being late. That's the end of my board attorney report. I got the email yesterday. I thought that meant we were going to virtual. And then when I found out otherwise, I got here post haste.
No way.
Speed camera, was definitely gonna tax me for my.
I know, because there's quite a few around
Oh,
here.
right by Stevenson Road. I went right through it. I saw the what in my rearview mirror.
And then, I forget to say this, Will, I told you about this, when we talked the other day. The county recently sent out the social media policy that everybody that works in a building or, is a county employee, which we all are, we're on the county workday, we're not technically county employees, but the board, you all get paid by the county, you're in the county workday. So this is the social media policy, everybody's required to follow. I'm not, this isn't these aren't our rules or our office rules. This came from the HR and they sent it out countywide. So every county employee had to re-sign this policy. So, and I put a copy in everybody's folder for your information.
So you want us to sign it?
No, you don't have to sign. If you want to, you can. I gave it to you all more for informational. I don't really have a file on you guys like that. You know, I have your payroll stuff in it, so, but I gave it to you because you are considered county, although you're appointed by the governor.
All right, that'll bring us to old business. I don't think we had anything. Am I mistaken? Okay. Let's go into new business. And I know we do have the confidential voter requests. And you said there were 4 of them?
There are 4, yes. So we have voter 1, voter 2, voter 3, and voter 4. So, voter 1, is a person being, threatened, and she did provide, the requested, documentation. So I don't know, Will, I can't scan this to you. It would have to be encrypted. But.
Now, I mean,
can hold it up for you, but I'll.
what my questions would be, and maybe if you answer this, it might help. Are they all, so we can handle it as one group or break out? So my questions would be for the group. Did they all fill out all the required paperwork that they need? And all of the documentation and the proof?
Yes. So my recommendation after reviewing the documentation or speaking to the police or speaking to the voter is yes, to approve all 4 of these.
They've all filled out the necessary paperwork and all 4 have a reason that meets the qualifications, correct?
Yes, and they all 4, it's the same reason safety reasons, they were threatened, they were harassed, things like that, and they all provided proper documentation. They've all notified the police department, the Franklin station, and they've all, or they've given me documentation that's required from a church. I forget what they are. It's statement from a religious, medical, or other professional, and then, or a statement from the applicant about the applicant's subjective fear. Two of these people, came in person to speak to me about the issues. And then one of them is related to the person, one of or two of them are related to the two that came in person because they were in fear and distraught. So I met with them individually.
So yeah, if those would be the questions that I asked. I don't need the individual names mean nothing. The qualifications, not that they don't mean nothing, but the names don't matter to me. It's the qualifications and the proper procedures for requesting it. So if everybody's good with that, since they all four are fitting the qualifications and the steps required, then unless somebody has an objection, we can deal with a vote for all four of them at the same time, if that's okay with the body.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
We wait for Al to say yes or no. So didn't they end up with Josh? So always like Josh to take a final look at him too. Can you shut that?
Oh,
So I have a longer, email documentation and the longer police report information, as well as what they just wrote on there. And they sent the email also went to State Board, and Campaign Finance.
Sorry.
It's okay. Somebody that works here. They were happy, so I guess that's a good thing.
That's something else.
made that.
I think the mail would tell somebody to be quiet, but I didn't recognize that, and I was just.
No, I would have said.
And I don't know, some of the board members might remember that the person that started the whole thing was in a lawsuit, for harassing a voter in 22, Dana? And then, yeah, so,
All right. Has everybody had a chance to review them?
Almost will.
almost there, they're at PETA, and then they go, Josh can review all the board votes.
Yeah, I can see Al's feet, but I can't see Al's face and Peter's face. There, now I see him.
It's called a poor camera operator.
Does anyone have any questions about the applications or anything?
Do the police do something about?
So I'm not sure, I'm not exactly sure because I wasn't the victim. So I just have the statement and I know which, lieutenant they spoke to at the Franklin station. So I don't know. I know that, we instructed them, and I know the police, I said if it ever occurs again, 911 or 311 right away. So I don't know. I don't know if the person that, started this was the police, contacted him or not. That's between, they didn't tell me that part. But, I know that he is on their, I know that they're aware of the situation that happened.
All right, since everyone's had an opportunity to review, seeing no voting on them as a group, would someone make a motion to approve all four of those for the confidential voter?
So moved.
Peter Rich, yes.
All right, I see that. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, now I see you both over there. Peta and Al, thank you for the motion and second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you. Any other new business, Rui?
Not that I know of, no, sir.
Okay. Then, since I'm on this side of the room now with Amanda panning our camera, we'll start with announcements and any disclosures of campaign contributions, and Peta gets to go first.
I have none.
You don't know? Okay.
All right.
None for me.
None for me.
None for me.
None for me.
Is I'll say Amanda, Josh, okay, and then I as well have none. So it looks like no disclosures of any campaign contributions. Meeting information. So we've got the April 29th. That is the 5th Wednesday. And May 27th, which is probably the 4th Wednesday, right? Back to the 4th.
Yes, and don't forget, that's also when Julie, the clerk of the circuit court, will be here for the administration of oath for you all and me and the board attorney. And then, so we start that meeting a little early because then we have the public demo at 10 o'clock, the public demonstration of voting equipment at 10 o'clock. And that's also the day, April 29th or somewhere around then, is also the day for the supply verification. Remember, I think Al, you came and did it, Laverne, you guys did. So I just need a Devon rep, and I'll email the board what day. I think I wrote it on the important dates calendar. But I need a Devon rep to come and, sign off on that document for me that I do for all the supplies for early voting and election day. So I will send the email, I'll remind you all in the next meeting, but also send an email, what day it is. Let me see your election, let me see your election calendar, because I think it's in there. So I don't know if somebody wants to volunteer now, that's why I'm getting ready to say the date. Al is an old pro at, doing that, and it was you, Laverne.
Yeah, I'll do it.
You'll do it again? All right, awesome. And then Al, I need a rep.
Okay, yeah, 27.
Done deal. I'll tell you what day it is. I need the election calendar. Can I see your election? I gave you all,
30 a.m. I don't-
yet again, another updated election calendar. I put the updated date here, so don't pay attention. I crossed out the 9/2 down here, because they don't understand when I keep telling them it's embedded in the footer. So I crossed it out for you and I wrote the updated date. So that supply verification date is,
Wednesday.
it is a Wednesday, I know it is. Yep, Wednesday, May 26th. It is the meeting date, so you guys will stay in at the meeting date, May 27th?
Yeah, the last.
Yeah, that's what.
We did everything at
We do
once.
everything in one day.
Yeah.
So, but I need you to stay, because remember, it takes about an hour or so. So you need to stay that day a little longer.
You said you provide lunch.
Okay, I will. Now, don't forget, we start early and you stay longer that day. 8:30. It's a long day. Yeah, 8:30, and you probably won't leave till like 2.
It's fine.
Okay, all right, awesome. Thank you, guys. So Laverne.
That'd be in person, right? Hey, so.
Only if you want lunch.
Well, I mean, I guess we could try to do it virtually. That'd be.
Just stop it. Just stop it right now.
Yeah.
All right. We have all the dates on the calendar, and we do have the Canvas schedule that Rui also sent out to us. So we do have busy times coming up. Are there any other dates to share or any other
Well,
meeting information?
Vice President Johnson just brought to my attention, he thought it was a typo. June 23rd, Election Day, we meet at 8:30 PM, not AM, because you guys have to randomly select the precincts that I have to audit, remember? And then whoever is at the command center, Amanda will, I'm blind when I say I will. Amanda will connect you virtually. Josh is already required to be here all day with me. But I need board quorum for that. And so if you need to join virtually election night, make sure you let Amanda know in plenty of time. And then somebody will have to draw your precincts for you. Remember, I think it was you were virtually because you were still at the command center, last time. But anyway, whoever is the night person at the command center, Amanda will make sure you are good. And then we'll make sure if you don't have a laptop that you can use, Gordon will get you a county laptop.
Yeah, I think, Derek and I will work that again. And then, Rui, will you put as well, we usually have the totes that we have out.
Yes.
And I can have the election supplies.
Absolutely. We'll give you those, in the May meeting. When's the May meeting?
May the 27th.
Yeah, May 27th. So that would be like a week and a half before early voting starts. So that'll be perfect. And so we'll give everybody those, and Peter's probably wondering what the tote is. So what we do, and this is not a requirement, what we do is we have, these bins, and we put all types of, polling place, election date, and early voting supplies in it. Maybe, some provisional applications, I voted stickers, just things they might run out of, or an extra printer, extra cord, and put the code in your car, and then like Al or Will, everybody lives different places around the county, and if they're available during early voting or election day, I call them or text them, hey, do you mind running by and giving them some I voted stickers or whatever. So, and then on election day, like Will stops at, a precinct on his way here. Al will go to a couple, I know Derek stops at precinct, so does Laverne. If they need anything, we call you and say, Al you were all over the county for me last year. Did you think of mileage? Right, that's what I was just thinking. Normally, I don't ask everybody to drive all around in it, but if you're on the east side and you're coming in, I might say, hey, can you stop in Towson or something like that? So Amanda and I, keep that in mind, and she has a whiteboard and she tracks that kind of and then she'll say, hey, is Al available or whatever. So, yeah, it's a huge help to us. It makes it so sometimes we can get supplies to the places quicker. So if you want a tote, let Amanda know. And so, cause she'll have them made for the May meeting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I always take one, and then I like to go into the precincts, and I usually just go in to say, hey, thank you for coming out here and working all day. And it's nice, just identify yourself to the chief judges when you go in. Make sure you do that. Most of mine know me because I stop in there, and it's mostly people on the east side of the county that I know anyway.
Yeah. And they like that because you guys all stop in and thank them for working and all that type of thing. Last year we didn't make a bin for Josh, but then he needed one because when I needed him to go to those couple precincts, we also needed him to stop, but he didn't have a bin. So let's start giving him a bin.
You're getting one whether you like.
Last year I was all over the place.
Whether you like her.
But not you, yeah. But I don't know if you remember, but that's what happened. You came back and then you had to go back out because you didn't have one else. Yes, yes.
Yep.
All right, so, okay, perfect. We'll get those together for the board.
All right. If there's nothing else, we have the closed session that we have on the schedule. Is there any other business that we need to come back to? Because if not, we'll announce for members of the public and any viewers, which I don't see any viewers, but anybody,
Mr. Ruby's here.
yes, yeah, in person, right. I saw in person, but I didn't see anybody else in the room, right?
Okay.
So yeah, we'll talk here that, we're gonna get ready to vote to go in the closed session, but when we finish closed session, we will come back into the open session only to close the meeting. So there's no business. We'll just come back to formally close our open meeting. So that way we don't have you waiting around for any business.
Do you have an idea how long it might take?
I have no idea.
I was hoping to catch you for 3 minutes after.
I don't know how long they're gonna be. Can you email me and we'll set up a time?
You have your request?
I did, but the meeting, told me last night in the meeting,
You know, I just
so I
want,
just haven't understood, but yes, I did get it.
I might stick around just to see. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right.
All right. So saying that, we've made that public announcement that we're only going to come back to close our open meeting after the closed meeting. We have a reason for a closed meeting today. Derek, you can sign the paperwork. Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Or for the closed session, Rui, you have the form?
Right, well, he's signing the one from last time, and next time
Okay.
I'll have the one for this time for you to sign.
Okay, yep.
But President Fuhrer, can I go to the bathroom really quick?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do we want to,
Did
we'll
you
make a
stop?
motion and a second to go into closed session, say 10 minutes. That would be at 11:30. Does that make sense for everybody?
Works for me. You guys good with that? You
All
want-
right, so who wants to make a motion that we go in the closed session at 11:30 a.m.?
Perfect, thank you. So now,
He said it was motion.
So who wants to make a motion for that?
Okay.
All right, so Derek motions that we will go into closed session at 11:30. Is there a second?
Al,
All right, Al seconded. Any further discussion? Oh, for the reason is personnel, so we'll just mention that. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor of going into a closed session at 11:30, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, so that closes out the public session right now. We're in closed session in 9 minutes.
at 12, at 11, what did he say?
11:30, so it's 11:21 now.
Yeah.